Hello again. Welcome back. Billy Ho Sports is here again. A little hiccup to the opening weekend at Keeneland. Severe weather threatens the Ohio Valley. So, to err on the side of caution, officials decided to move the racing from Friday, Saturday to Monday, Tuesday, which many of you probably already know that. So, appreciate all the kind words. Stay safe, all that kind of good stuff. We were very lucky in my part of the town that we got very little damage, but there were some places that really got beat up pretty good. So thanks for all that. Appreciate it. Today's video is going to be the all stakes pick 5. We'll talk a little bit more about the Bluegrass since the preview video and see if anything's changed. Also, if you want to get into the draw for the vintage Kentucky Derby glass, we're going to do a bonus one for this pick 5. So give me your best bet races 6 through 11. Or basically your single in the pick 5. Must be a subscriber to win, but no worries. It's free to do, super easy. Click the button and you're done. Take an extra second and hit that like button too. And I appreciate it very much. Let's get right into it. And the weather obviously is going to be cleared up by Sunday-ish. So not really sure about the condition of the turf after all the rain. It's probably going to need a few days. So I would err on the side of a little soft with the turf and maybe just barely fast on the dirt. The dirt's going to be obviously quicker to dry out than the turf will, at least in my opinion. I may be wrong about that. Who knows? Wrong about a lot of stuff, but not this. Let's get right into race 6 and get after it. Race number 6 is the Appalachian, graded 2. It's going to go a mile on the turf. For fillies, 3 years old, really good races. Boy, these 5 races are really good. I'm very excited to bring them to you. We're going to start with Nitrogen, the 1 horse. 2-1 morning line, took down the Florida Oaks at Tampa Bay, making that back-to-back stakes wins for Mark Casse. Mark Casse is no stranger to turf prowess. He's an excellent trainer of the turfers, so no surprise there. And elite trainer. Trouble Trip in the BC Juvenile Fillies turf just shows you what she can do. She really got way back down here and then fired down a stretch and got to 3rd in a very fast pace that set her up pretty good though. But after that, it was the Ginger Brew, then the Florida Oaks, where she didn't need that much pace to set her up. She was ready to rock when they hit the stretch and got up late. So I read Jose aboard, I should say, on this one, J.L. Ortiz. So Nitrogen, number 1 in the books, 43% clip on the rail post. That's like 14 races, I think, when I looked at the track bias, which would be 6 out of 14. That's pretty wild. It's, coincidental, I think. But still, the rail post is definitely an advantage in these milers. And obviously, because you go start to finish, here's a start right here, and it's a pretty short trip to hit that first turn, so it's always nice to be on the inside. Now, here's the other Mark Casse and Brother Irad aboard, Vixen. That's going to be a fun race. Those two right next to each other, brothers in arms, both riding for Mark Casse, and so we're going to see how that shakes out. But number 2, Vixen, 3-1. First across the line, and here comes the bride, this grade 3 right here. Nice effort there, 88 speed rating, which I don't read into the turf speed ratings as much. I just like to see how they do. Are they doing what they're supposed to do? And this is an early presser, sat off in 3rd, and then took over in the stretch. That's exactly what we want to see. And then it moved a little bit sooner in this one, but still took over. And I like to switch to Irad even over Johnny V. So this one's going to be fun. And this is, I guess, Fionn. And this is a Brad Cox filly, Luan Mikado. Low-key, good combination. These two guys together, last 60 days, 16 starts and 38% winning clips. So that's pretty solid right there. 63% in the money. So I would probably want to use this one definitely in some exotics. Now, 8-1 morning line, she established herself a winner early on. strong rally in the second to get it done, or strong rally in the first, but just missed the win. And then got Florence Giroux, and of course, three straight favorites, even money and less, dominated in the maiden ranks, optional claiming. And then this Black Stakes here, mile and a 16th. I like that she runs good on the less than firm turf, which is good, just in case it is that way. And the Black Cat, she had tested down the stretch there. She was cut off inside. Then she was forced wide, so wide she flopped back to her left lead and was running sideways down the stretch. But once she got finally wide enough to be clear, the race was over because she just straightened out and flew home. But also a positive ROI, plus 1.56 on Mikado and Brad Cox. So low key on this one. So let's see. Fast Market, I don't think I had anything for, or Good Temper. Neither one of these impressed me much. Both, well, this one's still a maiden. And this one is a couple of wins, but not really looking at William Walden, Mike Smith combo. I'm sure it probably could compete, but no thanks for me. Here's one to look at, Totally Justified. From Justify, and I'm going to have more to say about Justify and his progeny taking to the grass, because there will be another one of those later on. So her sire is Justify, making her 3-year-old debut, been off since the juvenile fillies turf, where she ran 8th, but she had all kinds of traffic trouble down the stretch trying to find room, but there wasn't much of a race left after she finally got clear. So I'm willing to excuse this last effort because the rest of them are awesome. The Jessamine just missed and won the Johnson before that. So pretty solid right there. And Justify, blinkers go on, which might help. And so Totally Justified, nice looking horse for trainer Rusty Arnold. And then Liam in the Dust, not really sure what the point of going to the turf is here. Maybe just because, she should have been better after the second in the Pocahontas, but she just maybe a little bit over her head in races against horses like Immersive and Muhima, where she ran. And then they tried her at Aqueduct on the March 1st and was just awful. It faltered. So I'm going to pass on Liam in the Dust. Lush Lips was the last one I wanted to mention. Looking for revenge on Nitrogen after losing the lead to late to her in the Florida Oaks. Went all the way. And so we're backing up to a mile here instead of the mile and a 16th there. So maybe the slightly shorter distance would improve her chances. But I'm going to play the percentages and say the outside post is going to be more detrimental to her. And the rest of them I didn't really think too much of. So I'm going to queue up the 8th race for you to start looking at. And then we'll go over the picks. So like I said, I'm going to play the percentage game and leave the 8 out. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 6. Let's just jump back real quick. Apologize for that. Just a recap here. So 1, 2, 3, 6. So I am going to go, whoops, wait a minute. That's the wrong race. Race number 6, dummy. All right, so we are going to go Nitrogen, Vixen. Those are too chalky. I like Fiona as a sleeper. We're going to play the 3 as well. And then we're going to throw in the 6, Totally Justified. So bing, bang, boom, 4 up in leg 1. Let's get after race 7. Commonwealth, and this is a grade 3, 7 furlong sprint, 4-year-olds and up. Good looking race. We'll start with not best actor because I just didn't think much of him. The Knicks Go just not really impressed me with anything. The Mineshaft of February of 2024 last year was okay, but I think this one is just a little bit outclassed here and not quite fast enough for my taste. But then we have what do you call it? Montalcino, 3-1, Sherry DeVoe. Sherry's got this one humming. Its only loss came at Fairgrounds, where he set the pace, dug in, lost by a head bob in a very long stretch drive at Fairgrounds Park right here. So that was a really, really strong effort. And then bounced right back in the debut in a bit of a soft landing spot, but still, that's probably a good idea to get another one under her belt since she is lightly raced 4-year-old. And so Sherry knows what she's doing, obviously. Pretty good effort, lengthy stretch drive at Fairgrounds. And then she dispatched that 50K optional claiming field into X with relative ease, 5 lengths, and then stretched it extra half. So the 7 is going to be no issue. She's by Take Charge Indy. So I like that one. An epic ride. Last year's Derby Trail, 6-1 morning line, ran third in the Bluegrass behind Sierra Leone and forget the other horse. Perryville at Keeneland as well ran well. Another third there down here in the Perryville. So pretty good vibes at the Keeneland racetrack, going 7 furlongs on the dirt there. So that at least he did run well there in that one, and that was against Ben Tornado, or I forgot who that was. It's not Ben Tornado, but that's Bookham Dano, and that's Nicebridge. Those are solid big timers. So going back up here, went to the. I would prefer this horse on the all weather, to be honest with you, because these efforts down here at Turfway leading into the Bluegrass were just huge. So I'm tentative on Epic Ride. I would like to see him perform well, but I would rather see him do it at Turfway. Okay, here's an interesting one, and it's not Caramel Chip. Nutella Fella. Back in the day, a couple years ago, September 2023, was the hopeful winner and a hopeful Derby horse. Big 54-1 shot too for Gary Contessa. And this horse, I think there was something with injury. I can't remember exactly what happened, but came back, debuted in June of 2024 in the Woody, and ran third behind Bookham Dano and Prince of Monaco. So that was a really good 24 debut. Then didn't run again for the rest of the year. And came back this January at Tampa at 7, and got second in this 32 into X, but then moved up. Probably needed this one to get him going again, but then moved up to the Pelican and won that race with a nice stalking trip. Got through, and if I remember right, he had to swing wide because the rail closed off. Then the rail opened back up, so he swung back in and was able to punch through down the stretch on the inside rail. Tight squeeze for Junior Alvarado, but now Luis Saez picks up the mount. So we all forgot the potential this horse had, back in 2023. So I've got my eye on him. Hopefully we'll get some good odds and maybe a horse that could surprise folks. Now, number 6, one of my guilty pleasures, Hoist the Gold from Dallas Stewart. Brian Hernandez rides. And really just, I think it was this Phoenix down here at Keeneland that got my eye popped when he just took out Nakatomi and Bango. You know what a stud Bango is, the record holder for most wins in Churchill Downs history. And then didn't do very well in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Breeders' Cup Sprint is a difficult race. I mean, even the best in the world are exposed here if conditions aren't right for you. So the next one up was the Cigar Mile, going a mile in the mud. That was the one that really eye-popping, just took to the lead and went wire to wire, rolling out full bore over. You can see Senor Buscador. We know what he did. Then he goes into the Pacific World or Pegasus World Cup Invitational against National Treasure and runs fourth, showing the way. But I'd say that this is probably a little bit too far for old boy to go. And then went over to the Saudi Cup and fell on his face, and then came back and just kind of been trying to put the pieces back together. Honestly, a couple third place, the Metropolitan, National Treasure again ran third. So Kelly's Landing ran third, closed the game Sugar and Angkor. Those are solid. And then finally comes back and debuts as a 6-year-old and just gets it done. And it was a good effort, cleared, held, solid, professional race by Hoist the Gold. So Hernandez aboard once again. Hopefully, we've got these two together and they know what each other's going to do. I think 7 furlongs will be no trouble for this group and for him. He's tough enough to handle this bunch. And after that, I don't hear my song, I think, and now we're starting to get toward the outside posts, which have less chance. Uh, but William Stinson, I hear my song, I like, but just too many just minor league stakes races with the most success. Now that second to Gun Pilot last year on Derby Day was solid, but and runs the good numbers. Don't get me wrong, but I have to take some stands here. So and the rest of these extra Anejo, very good horse, but I'm playing the percentages. Obviously, what you're talking about is too Irad, Wesley Ward, Monster 107 here, but state breds races right here in from New York. So it is what it is. But what I'm going to do here is I'm taking Hoist the Gold for the win, but I'm throwing in Nutella Fella as a real threat. So I'm going 5-6 on race number 7. So now we go race 8, and that would be the Grade 1 Madison, 7 furlongs, the ladies this time. Another high-level sprint race, and we're going to go right to Positano Sunset, 20-1, 24. She made her 2024 debut, or I'm sorry, 25 debut in this 50K handicap with a nice win there. She's been successful versus weaker, but I think this one's above her pay grade. Now we get into the juice. Number 2, Emory is trained by Brad Cox. Luan Mikado gets the call. We already discussed how they're positive ROI together and really, really clicking. And just nothing but good finishes. I mean, firsts, hard to beat this horse, but there are some that can. And she's 3-1 and looking to get another crack at Mystic Lake, who held her off by just a mere neck on a closing effort on the Inside Info Stakes at Gulfstream Park. So they have traded, not the first time they traded barbs. You can see Mystic Lake got up here, but down here in the victory ride, the grade 3 at Aqueduct, Emory got the best of Mystic Lake. So Emory's gone up against, and we'll talk about a couple other rivals here, but Ways and Means, that was a big time race right there, the test. So second to Ways and Means, and just a strong contender and must use my book. Now this one I'm going to have trouble leaving off, not Harbor Spring, my main squeeze. And 8-1, she's just a horse I have continued to back since that 7-1 winner last year's 8 Bells. And then she just kind of probably a little bit ahead of herself with the test, but she ran 4th and 3rd, so it's not like she wasn't competitive. She went up in the Acorn and went 1 1/8, stretching her legs there, so to speak, and Torpedo Anna, and ran really good that race too. And then Ways and Means and was 3rd behind Emory, but she's 3rd or 2nd or 3rd. I mean, this is the Charlestown Oaks. And she was a distant 3rd to Mystic Lake in that one. No shot, but no match, but second best. So it's really going to be hard to put this one on the ticket because she hasn't been able to turn the tides on either of those 2 horses, Mystic Lake or Emory. And then there's another one in here that I don't think any of them are going to mess with. So I'm probably not going to go. I'm going to use my main squeeze in the exotics for sure, though. And Dazzling Move actually had some interesting stats here. 20-1, Safi Joseph Jr. takes over at the end of the year there, and then directly turns right around and pops a graded stakes victory right off the bat, going 1 1/16. So now cutting back to 7 could set up nicely for 24% trainer in the sprints. So interesting move there. But that was going 2 turns. I don't think the speed's going to be there, even though she did show it. I mean, this 100-110, but she had 77 late pace. So I don't think she's going to get there for Eddie Zahas. Here's the one. This is the one right here. Scylla, number 6, 8-5 morning line. Bill Mott, Flavia Pratt, obviously the class of the field. She's going to get tested. She's coming in off 5 months layoff. The filly and mare sprint, like I said, anybody can be exposed by this race. It's just a real tough one to do. Soul of an Angel in Society got past her after she was right there, second by a head. So still really made a very valiant effort for Scylla. But you can see the two, Ballerina and Hirsch, grade one stakes races. Society is no joke, as neither is Adair Manor. So that was going 2 turns, mile and 16th too. So versatile horse, and then just mopping the floor with him right here. 3 straight victories, and then that just goes to show you how good she is. She could roll out of bed and run 100 in this race, and I wouldn't be surprised. 22% trainer is Bilmont in the graded stakes rank. 19% shipper. All kinds of good things to say. This horse is absolute stud, and about a year older, or but for the most part than the top contenders. I want to say. Let's go back up here and verify that. So Emery's a 4-year-old, and so is My Main Squeeze. Obviously, we remember that. So she's 5. She's by Tappet. She's got the juice. I mean, she's got power and stamina. I mean, she's the only one you're going to see that's running the same speed all 3 legs. Where you're getting, she does slow down because that's a 113. But if she's doing just 92 101s, she's hitting the mid 90s coming down the stretch. So that's dangerous if the pace is not a swift one. She's a presser. She'll sit right on your hip pocket and then destroy you in the stretch. Now, Mystic Lake, obviously, we need to talk about, but you can see the speed ratings on Mystic Lake. None of them are in the hundreds right here. Now you have to go to the victory ride to get to that 100, where Emery beat her at Aqueduct, going 6.5. So, but I mean, Mystic Lake, there's nothing wrong. Obviously, 7-2 morning line. Won the inside info, as good as any of them here, but she's never raced at Keeneland. That's the other thing that I kind of have a slight knock. And it was very torn on how to go with this. The 2 Emery, 4 My Main Squeeze, 6 Scylla, 8 Mystic Lake. I mean, I may just sing. I'm probably, she could lose, but I don't think she will. I feel like she's going to be ready to rock. The one thing that I did notice that I like to see in my preps is the bullet, the second to last workout. So the bullet work comes here, and then you have a 3 furlong maintenance work. So I feel like she's ready to go. She's a pro. I'm singling the 6 in this one, but if I bet like a trifecta or exactas or anything, I'll do a key box with Scylla, and then I'll put the 2, the 4, and the 8 underneath, roll on from there. So let's hit up race number 9er. And that one is going to be the Shakertown. This is 5.5 on the turf. And 3-year-olds and up. Run Carson 6-1. Cutting back and then moving from the all-weather to the turf. But I don't know. It says, it's funny because it says beaten by a weaker, but I always thought Howard Wolowitz was pretty good. I mean, Howard Wolowitz, what can you say about him? Ran a big 99 on the all-weather turfway track. Good-looking horse for Kelsey Danner. Not really sure if I'll make it on the card. It is number 1 in prime power. So let's go down here a little further. I think there are better horses in here, to be honest with you. Our Shot might be one of them. John Terranova, Luis Saez. And 7-2. Won at Keeneland last fall at this very distance, grade 2 Woodford, I should say. Right there. And beat Arzak, who's in this race. We'll talk about in just a second. So good vibes at Keeneland. Won here last fall in October. Has one under his belt, the Turf Dash. Didn't really run very well. Was in between horses, but sired by Catheros. And I was trying to do some research, read up Catheros. Excellent sire when it comes to turfers, but can produce very fast but precocious horses. So sometimes, maybe they're not in the mood. That's why you get races like an 8th and a 4th, and then they damn near win the next time out, and they'll almost win back-to-backs, Harvey Pack. So our shot I like. And then our Zach, 4-1, rallied for the second Janus to close out the 2024 season. Third in the Woodford that was won by our shot. Second to Cogburn, big-time sprinter in the Japer last year. She's working well and has IRAD aboard. So you could do worse. Third, obviously, in Prime Power. Now we're getting to some of the more interesting ones that I want to talk about. Rogue Lightning, you can see, hasn't raced in the States, but I don't know where that's at. I've been to look that up. QA, I can't picture where that's from, but I guess it's Darkon, maybe. So anyway, that's irrelevant. Nice win, going 6 furlongs to start the year off right. Flavian Pratt aboard for Tom Clover. And what I wanted to say was mainly from France and Great Britain, if the turf is a little bit softer from all the rain, then she's going to be used to more softer turf with a lot of cut in it. So I think Rogue Lightning's an interesting one. Now, this one is most interesting horse in the field, in my opinion, from Steve Asmussen's barn. Jose Ortiz is going to ride Valentine Candy. And it's sired by, you guessed it, that Justify. So one race on the all-weather and everything else on the dirt. So what are we doing going to the turf? Back-to-back wins, sprinting. One of them at Churchill Downs last November. What are we doing going to turf? Well, I'll tell you, this horse Justify has sired some horses. I think you've heard of one of them called City of Troy that ran in the Breeders' Cup Classic, which was totally exposed on the dirt. But a turf monster, one of the greatest turf horses we've ever seen. Oh, by the way, Ramatule, also sired by and Opera Singer, both graded 1 stakes overseas. Hard to Justify won the 2023 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. That one's trained by Chad Brown. So I really like this 6-1 as a value play. It's second in Prime Power. Maybe won't go overlooked. I don't know. There's other horses in here that looks like they might pop off on the tote board, but we'll see. Because they might see sired by Justify and be like, oh, Lord have mercy. But anyway, No Nate Hudson, I looked at briefly, but was blown out in the Woodford, above her pay grade, I think. And then Coppola is 6-1. I think just too much against her. The outside post, Dale Romans, just his stakes record has been really tough. And then the hiking class, the poor trainer record away and poor record at this track. That's just too much to overcome. So I'm going to pass on that one. And so I'm going to go with the 2, the 4, and the 5. And I'm going to call the best bet that the 5-horse Valentine Candy, which I guess it is second in Prime Power. Maybe it's not going to go overlooked the way I think. But our shot, I think you should have some value with. And then you have the 4 and the 5, Rogue Lightning, Valentine Candy. So we're going 3 deep there. And now we're going to round things out with the grand finale. And that would be the Bluegrass Stakes. So we come in and start with River Thames, 5-2. A couple of fiery races right here off the bat, and then stepped up to the grade 2 Fountain of Youth and nearly had it down the stretch. Was beaten by Sovereignty late, but really, really solid effort in that race. I think will be eligible to improve. Sharp workout, like I said. Even though it wasn't a bullet, it was still a pretty sharp workout. 4:49, that's not bad. But you can see the bullet here. At the 5 in 1 minute, right there. Todd Pletcher, IRAD, inside post. Nothing wrong with that. So River Thames, a horse I do like and I will use underneath is Render Judgment, 20-1. Kenny McPeak and Russell Sheldon hooking up here. I thought the bounce back in the Virginia Derby was a pretty good effort on a speed favoring track, and for a horse that presses, was able to, of course, distance second, but still second nonetheless. So a horse I think's got a solid chance to hit the board, but not win the race. Now, Burnham Square is the one I'm interested in. This is 9-2. His potential obviously became evident after they added the blinkers, and he won by 9 lengths right off the bat, and then came right back and won the Holy Bull, beating Tappan Street, who oh, by the way, won the Florida Derby right after that. So just okay in the Fountain of Youth. Didn't only a mile gain, but I think maybe coming back just a little bit too quick in a month. Don't know if that's the case or not. Maybe just a little bit flat that day, not at his best, but I think he's going to be ready to rock this time around, and just a hair bit extra time off. Ian Wilkes, Brian Hernandez, I expect a bounce back effort in this race, and put him on the board. Now, my buddy Owen Almighty. Now I'm hearing some things like the connections eventually were saying that they weren't going to run Owen Almighty any further than a mile and a 16th. But he just got that Tampa Bay mile and a 16th just so easy. I guess maybe they just said, well, maybe he can do it. So they're going with this race, which is a mile and an eighth. I feel like that's like the absolute limit. I don't know if the mile and a quarter is going to be Owen Almighty's jam or not. And being out in the front like this, I think it's a bad spot for him. I think something different would have been better. He's already eligible to compete in the Kentucky Derby, so why are you running him in this race? You could probably just wait a week and could have run him and could have won the Lexington Stakes. But anyway, Owen Almighty, I still like. Sam F. Davis was a great battle with John Hancock, which ended in a second place finish. So the farther we go, the more we question the distance, obviously. Now, opinions abound on this one. East Avenue returning to the scene of the crime, so to speak. The huge win in the Breeders' Futurity. Yeah, okay, that's where the hype began. But he's just not been the same since. I mean, he just flopped in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, stumbled badly at the start, but he stalked. He was right there, second call, right behind Magnitude, and folded. So I don't like to read that. Blinkers on. Is that going to keep him from folding down the stretch? I don't know. We are going a little further than he went. I mean, he went a mile and a 16th, but with shows good speed here. But I don't know. I'm just really not feeling it. I know some are still backing him, probably because they got stuck with their biases back in the fall, and they just haven't given up on him yet and keep making excuses. Probably so. But I went back and looked at the Breeders' Futurity. The two horses he beat were Ferocious and Filoso. The rest of them are garbage. Now, Ferocious hasn't shown anything, and neither has Filoso. So I don't know. He hasn't really. I mean, that race didn't show me anything. So I'm out on East Avenue. If he beats me, so be it. I'll just wad up the paper and throw it in the trash and run him back the next race. Now, here comes the one that I do really like. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt. Heard a little tidbit. Chad Brown only puts his very best horse in the Bluegrass, like he had Sierra Leone last year. Like Sierra Leone, Chance McPatrick 2.0 for trainer Chad Brown. Ripped through New York, hopeful in Champaign, but had some unfavorable paces, especially the juvenile. Just wasn't near fast enough for him to close. He did get to sixth, but he was right there. Pratt got him up fast, but he just couldn't catch Owen Almighty, who was lightning down the stretch. But I still thought that was a better effort than maybe some people did. So I think that gears him up ready to go. 28% trainer, second off the layoff, Chad Brown, and sharp workout, ready to go. Chance McPatrick, presser closer. I think he's going to run triple digits in this race, and I think he's going to be ripping them down the course in the home stretch, either chasing River Thames or one of the other ones. So put him on the board. Admiral Dennis, 25-1, looking to get back on the right track for Brad Cox, but I just don't really know what this horse is doing. So I'm just going to toss him. And that's your field for that race. And so, much like Sierra Leone, Chance McPatrick, like I said, I think he's going to have enough pace to close. He's my top win contender. Then I have Owen Almighty, distance issue. but so does River Thames. They both have similar average win distances. And so maybe River Thames being on the inside rail can save ground. But I'll use the number 2 underneath. But for the main ticket, I will throw Owen Almighty in there because it's a if you pay $1, it's a $96 ticket. 50 cents is $48. So I got 1, 3, 4, and 6 for that. Okay, just to wrap things up, we'll go back with leg 1. We went 1, 2, 3, 6 for that one, and then leg 2 we went 5 and 6. Leg 3 we're singling the 6 Scylla. Leg 4 we're going 2, 4, 5. Then the final leg we're going 1, 3, 4, 6. Chancellor McPatrick is my pick to win, and after reviewing everything, I think that that's the best setup. I just don't think that River Thames can wire them. Now Burnham Square would not surprise me if Burnham Square shows up. So between Burnham Square and Chancellor McPatrick, I think it's pretty likely. I'm rooting for Owen Almighty, but I just don't know about the distance. So I didn't go ahead and include him in the ticket. So a dollar pick 5 is 96, 50 cents is $48. Now you can take one of those off and make it cheaper. Obviously, the first one I would take off is Owen Almighty. But anyway, that's your show for today. I appreciate you joining me as always. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you get your pick in for the 6 through 11 races and tell me which one you got singled out for the winner. And if you're right, you win a Derby glass. So until next time, see you soon.